Hello everyone, this is N-GameArts. We're continuing off with my Nintendo Switch collection of 160 plus Switch games. This is part 2. I did fail to mention in my first part that my games are all shuffled up because I had to take all my games off my shelves and re-put them back up because I was having my floor done, and then they had to delay it, so I had to take all my games off again and put it back up when they finished the floor again, so I didn't want to re-alphabetize my shelf, so that's why everything's all mixed up. I mentioned that on my PlayStation 4 collection. But to make this not too long again, we're going to be doing another 41 plus games. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. We have No More Heroes, a limited run physical copy. Again, like I said in the first video, I covered the second one. I haven't played the No More Hero game, so I know nothing about it. But I picked it up because why not? So I have it, but I know nothing about it. Moving on, we have Shanti. This is the first game in the series. Now, this was only first available on the Switch, and then eventually Limited Run released the PS5 version, and I think they did a PS4 as well. I only picked up the Switch and the PS5 version. For some reason, I didn't pick up the PS4 version. Kind of wish I did now. But, and again, I have the classic Shanti on the Switch, because I wasn't sure if this was going to get a PS5 or a PlayStation version. If I knew for sure, I wouldn't have probably picked this up, but I have it. Another one, a fairly good game, is Shadowverse Champions Battle. This is a card game, but it's like not a live service, microtransactions, loot box riddled kind of experience. No, this is a straight up campaign main card-based style game. I actually really enjoyed it. I just didn't really care for the whole anime side of it, where I was kind of doing this big conspiracy kind of thing, and like, I mean, look at my power level as I summon my great dragon. I'm not into that stuff. I just wish they kind of was just an anime about kids playing card games. I think that would have been cool and cute. And again, you get to pick your gender, so if you want to be a guy or a girl, that's really cool. I enjoyed the game. I actually didn't beat it, but I came really close. I really like this game, actually, and I really recommend it if you are into, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. If you really like card games and you like a physical copy of one that's not trying to get you to spend more money, definitely look into Shadowverse Champions Battle. Fairly good game. Here's an import, is Seven Pirates H. It's like a itchy style game. I picked it up because it just looked how ridiculous it was. About you did stuff to make the girl's breasts bigger or something like that, or some weird thing like that. It was really weird and funny. I just can't remember. I remember like you do some kind of things with the girl's breasts or something like. It was so ridiculous. I couldn't stop laughing. What cracks me up is that these games are on like the Nintendo console, where now Sony is trying to censor anything about women's bodies, which is sexist because I mean, there's nothing wrong with the female body, much like a male's body. You shouldn't be trying to cover it up. But anyway. Again, I'm glad I have it. It's just so ridiculous it had to be on my shelf. Again, I love these ridiculously weird games. Again, I like these games because I talked about the Dead Alive game, where I talked about how I didn't really like that game, because that game was just more to look at female body, while all the rest of the stuff wasn't really implemented. While these games, yeah, look at female body, but they actually have other mechanics that are actually fairly good. Like the Singra Conura games, they're actually fairly decent games, and they just happen to have a little bit itchy and some eroticness to it. And that's why I picked them up, and I prefer you pick these up than like Dead or Alive. Moving on, we have a wonderful 101 Remastered. I only picked this up, and it had a PS4 version. I kind of regret not buying the PS4 version, but I only picked it up for the Switch because I was like, well, the game was originally for the Wii U, so you know what, I'll pick it up for the Switch. This only got a release because of the Kickstarter. They had to do like some Kickstarter to get it to release, which seems weird to me because it's Platinum Games. But anyway, I picked it up. I have yet to play it, so I know nothing about it. Moving up, we have Overlord, Escape from Nazareth. This is a Japan import. It's a Metroidvania. I actually have pre-ordered the limited run version, so I'm hoping that would be a more updated version, and it would be in US physical copies, so maybe looking forward to that. When the next Switch comes back, and if it's backwards compatible, then I can test this game out, try putting them both together to see which one is the better, superior version. But I have the Japan version. Another limited run, we have Odin Cats and Golden Cats Paradise Collection, which comes like two cozy style games. One you get the fishing and another one you cook. I don't know, looked weird, it looked interesting, right up my alley. I like these weird, interesting games, so I picked it up. I don't know nothing about it, but check it out. a game that was only available as an Asian import, and that is Bonkitos 1 and 2 HD Remastered. Now, these were GameCube games when they first came out, and they're really expensive now. Now, the only way you can get this is importing the Asian version of this game for a physical copy. Now, the only disappointing thing is, while everything's gotten fixed up and they did improvements, the GameCube version has English voice acting, while this import version, or I think even this, if you bought an American version on the digital store on the eShop, is still only Japanese. Now, the game has English menus, subtitles, and stuff like that, but voice acting is in Japanese, while the original GameCube had English voice acting. So, really weird that they didn't bring the voice acting back for this. I don't seem like that would be like a hard thing to do. But, again, really going to probably be a massive collectible on the Switch. So, really got it. It's like a card-based RPG, so right up my alley. Another weird one is WarioWare Get It Together. I think, I would say I bought this used, but the case feels relatively new to it. So, maybe I got this really cheap, like $20 or something like that. But, in the end, picked it up. Don't know nothing about it. I know you like play a bunch of micro, small games and a quick session. That's all I know. So, I have it. Now, here's an interesting one. This is only available as a Japan Asia import. It comes with 2 games. It is Trista Legacy and Trista Restore. Trista Legacy and Restore Bundle Pack, which comes with 2 games. This was actually fairly expensive when I bought it. It was like going close to $100 if I recall, because with 2 games. Now these are more like visual novels. They're not actually like giant RPGs from my memory from researching it, but these were old games that almost never thought you would ever see a new remaster or something like that to the game. I think this is the first one and this is the second one, or this is the first one and this is the second one. I can't recall, but I picked it up because I figured I add it to my collection. Apparently these are really rare or really interesting and possibly could be very sought after collection for the Switch games of rare, interesting games. So, glad I picked it up. I don't know what it's going for now, so I don't know nothing about it other than I just know it's more like a visual novel. And it's only available in the Japan importing. Now, another one that's only available in Japan importing, it is the roguelike core action Metallic Child. And this is like a top-down hack and slash kind of roguelite, but I actually played a little bit of it, and it runs super smooth on the Switch, surprisingly smooth, and it's very good looking in graphics. I picked it up. It's only available, and last time I looked at Play Asia, it's sold out, so you can't even get a copy anymore, at least at Play Asia anyway. But I got it. I'm glad I did get it when I could, and I added it to my collection. Looks really good. It's one of the games I'm definitely going to probably look forward to playing on my new Switch 2 or Super Nintendo Switch whenever it comes out. Hopefully it's got backwards compatibility. Moving on, a game right up my alley is Monster Train First Class. This is a limited run. This includes the full base game plus the Lost Divinity DLC. It's a card-based kind of style game, which is right up my alley. I picked it up immediately. So, I have it. I haven't played it, but it's got a card game kind of mechanics, so I always love that kind of stuff, so picked it up. Heard really good things about it. A new recently pickup was Sunblaze. This wasn't a limited run, but it was a PAL import or Play Asia import. Picked it up. It's kind of like a Meat Boy kind of style game where you got to move really fast and dodge and jump and everything like that. Looks really interesting, so I picked it up. Moving up, a pretty good disappointment was Crash and Blast. It's just, this is a very arcadey style game. It's just the only problem is that since it's such an arcadey style game, it gets boring pretty quickly, and the AI is just atrocious rubber banding. And like, I think there's like car upgrading and stuff like that, but you never really felt like you were upgrading your car because the computer was just always behind you every time, all the time, because of the rubber band effect. In the end, I have it. It's interesting, but I kind of regret buying it because how much I spent for it back in the day, because I was a little worried about it getting really expensive, but it was not worth it. Moving up, I personally believe A Hat in Time is better than Mario Odyssey, but this is the inferior version. Not only does this run at 30 frames per second, but it does not come with everything on cartridge, because it's got a redeem code, if I recall, for a Seal the Deal. But if you buy the PS4 version, it comes with 30 and 60 frames per second, and it comes with Seal the Deal on the cartridge. So, again, it's alright, but I would particularly prefer you get the PS4 version. But if you don't have a PS4 and you only play Switch, my personal opinion, A Hat in Time is better than Mario Odyssey, even at 30 frames per second. I don't even remember what Mario Odyssey runs at. But in the end, I really love this game. Got good music, good platforming, really good game. Just wish I wish they would release another physical copy, like for PlayStation 5 and hopefully the next Super Nintendo Switch console, and be everything on disc or cartridge. A recent pickup. This was a used copy. This is Diablo Eternal Collection. This is I just picked it up because I know it was a used copy, and I just picked it up because I was like, you know what, I'll add it to my collection. It was actually maintaining its price pretty good. I don't know how well it runs or how good it is and everything. I mean, I've played Diablo on my PlayStation 4, but I haven't played it on my Switch. It's got a little bit of damage there. That's no big deal. But I'm not really into Diablo. I'm not really into the whole gathering up a bunch of resources and stuff like that and loot and grinding kind of style. But again, it's very interesting to think that these may be the last physical copy we might see that can be played fully offline without needing some persistent internet connection and stuff like that. In the end, very, very good. Just happy to have it on my shelf. Move it up. We have Deader School. This is a Metroidvania style game. Not very good. This, I talked about my least favorite Metroidvanias, and this is probably my least favorite Metroidvania 2D style. Not necessarily a bad game, but it's definitely not up there at the peak of the best. It's the HUD takes up a lot of the screen, and I don't know if this was maybe a mobile game at one point or something, but there is a PS4 version. I didn't pick that one up because I was a little bit worried about PlayStation censorship, so I picked up the Switch version. It may be nothing different between the Switch and PS4 version. The game does support English. It just doesn't got English voice acting. But I have it. Another one I've been wanting to play is Death Road to Canada, which looks really, really interesting. It's like a top-down zombie kind of survival style game. Looks really, really interesting. I got it from Play Asia. Really, really good. Looks really, really interesting. Right up my alley, that wacky, weird style game. But it's only available on the Switch. I'm wanting to play it. The limited run is Thea The Awakening. This is like a card-based, tile-based kind of style board game, kind of style game. Not entirely sure. I've yet to play it, surprisingly, but it looks really weird. It looks interesting. So, picked it up. It was distributed by Limited Run. So, picked it up. Moving up, we got Singra Conura, Peach Ball. This is like a pinball style game. It's okay. I remember there was annoying audio in the game that was really annoying me when I was playing it. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was like the girls, like every time you hit them, they go, ah, ah, ah. It just got repetitive really, really quickly. If I recall, it was just, there was some sound or something that was going on in this game that was just grinding against the ears. I can't remember. But in the end, I thought I picked it up, so I usually, since I have so many, I've just been picking them up because I seem like I'm collecting all the Sinra Conura games, so why not? Saga Frontier Remastered. When I first picked this up, this was only available on the Switch, and then eventually they came out with the PS4 version, which I did pick that up. I have it on my shelf, so I have the PS4 version and the Switch version. I have yet to play it. Move it up. Another Asian import is Fortress S. This was like a really popular Korean game, like a really popular multiplayer competitive style game. But this does have a single player experience. I played a little bit of it. Really, really interesting. This is currently only available as a Japan import. If you want a physical copy, it is only available on the Switch. It does support full English, so I thought it was interesting. I'm glad I picked it up. I think it's sold out now. I don't know what it's going for, or if anyone cares about this, but I really liked it. I like the tank idea. It's not a turn-based or anything. It's like a live action, persistent combat, which I was kind of hoping it was going to be a turn-based. I was kind of hoping it was going to be like a Worms-style game, but in the end, still looks interesting. Definitely want to play it on the next Switch. Another card-based style game is Fae Tals, a card-based narrative journey, which sounds really, really up my alley. Seems interesting. Picked it up. I got it really cheap. I got this ridiculously cheap, $12. It looks really interesting. I mean, I have nothing against furries. I wouldn't call myself a furry, but I don't hate furries. So right up my alley. I don't know why there's a new hate for furry things. But anyway, moving up. Next favorite game is Terraria. I love this game. I have played it a bunch of times on my PS4. I played it a bunch of times on my Switch, and I played it a bunch of times on my PC. I bought this used because I had the PS4 version. I came across this used copy. I was like, oh, wow, Terraria. I'll definitely buy that game. I'll add another Terraria game to my collection. I love Terraria. I love it more than Minecraft. I love this game so much. If I didn't have so many other games and so many other things to do, I'd definitely be investing in this game a lot. Man, I can only imagine if I was a kid again and I had these games. I mean, I cannot believe how lucky kids are nowadays in the games they get, like Terraria and even Minecraft. Like, I don't like Minecraft, but could you imagine that back when we were kids? You could have this big open world kind of thing. You could dig and climb and build and stuff like that. That was like a dreamboat back when I was a kid. But to have this version of it, man, you would have never gotten me away from the TV screen. Moving up, we got Yoshi's Crafted World. It's okay. It's not the greatest, not the worst. I picked it up. It's okay. Again, like I was trying to say, Nintendo really needs to learn the word fun, because their games are not fun. They're alright. They're alright games, but they're not fun games. They're not engaging games. They don't really push the envelope. They feel very safe. Like, everyone keeps saying that Nintendo is so creative. People want to make jokes about what you're smoking and stuff like that. That's Nintendo. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, all their games are the same. All of them have the same setup, the same patterns, same design-wise. Sure, sometimes artistic designs are really, really good. But just, if once I've played one, I really feel like I've played them all. It's just, man, I don't know. If you love it, great. It's alright for me. Pick it up. This was the next one is World of Final Fantasy Maxima. This is the superior version if you want World of Final Fantasy. It's okay. It's a good monster kind of catcher Pokemon style game. This is the superior version because it comes with like DLC and stuff like that, and it's more updated compared to the PS4 version. But in the end, happy to have it. It does support full English and everything like that, and I do believe full English voice acting as well. But happy to have it. Moving up, I've been wanting to play it, and that is Card Fight Vanguard. I believe that's what it's called. It's like a card-based style game. I have yet to play it, so I don't have much experience with it. I had no knowledge. I don't know if it's more like a visual novel card game. I don't know if it's like the Shadowverse card battle grid, whatever it was called. I don't know if it's better than it or anything like that, but I picked it up. This is the only way you can get a physical copy is a Japan import. The game does support full English, and the cards are in English and everything like that. It just doesn't have English voice acting. But I picked it up. It seems really, really interesting. I like card games, so I picked it up. Next one, we have Bayonetta. Was it Bayonetta 3? Yeah. If you had to play it, I'm not necessarily the biggest Bayonetta person. They're alright games. I just went ahead and just collected them. But have it. Have yet to play it, so I don't know how it performs on the Switch. But I have it. Here was an interesting buy. Fishing Star War Tour. I bought this out of a whim. I just thought it looked interesting. I played a little bit of it. It's not very good, but I don't know. There's a charm to it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's buyer's remorse or something like that, but I don't know. I popped it in a few times, and I am immediately like, yeah, not very good. But there's some charm to this. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Just seems interesting. For the life of me, I know it's like a buyer's remorse, but I don't regret buying it. But I don't care that I have it. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Probably not. But again, it was a very interesting game. Next up, we have Singra Conura, the Reflex. I'm not entirely sure. I think this is another visual novel. We get to like date the girls and stuff. Not entirely sure. Don't know nothing much about it. Again, it seems like I'm picking them all up. I think it comes with the DLC and stuff. Don't know. But picked it up, added it to my shelf. I seem to be collecting them all. So I don't even know what's going for in price-wise. Here was a pretty good disappointment. West of the Dead, Path of the Crow. It was not very good. It was definitely a game that was trying to be heavily inspired by Dead Cells, by certain mechanics, but the game was buggy. I kept like falling through the ground, and I got so frustrated. It happened like 3 or 4 times on me after very good runs, and it had to ruin my run. So I kind of just fell out of it. But it's okay. It's got some good ideas and graphic mechanics, even though sometimes the camera can block your view and you can't see. It's alright. That's the best I can give it. It's worth a look. Look into it if you can. I wouldn't spend a lot of money for it, but just look into it. We got Xeno Chronicles 3. Again, I have yet to play any of the Xeno Chronicle games. I don't know anything about them or how they play or if I even like them. I've just picked them up. Again, a game I got ridiculously cheap, luckily. A guy sold it to me. He said he didn't like the Xeno Chronicles, and he bought this as well as the second one of the actual release. He sold it to me for like both of them for like, if I recall, like $50 or $60 for both of them. I can't quite remember, but I got both of them, and then I looked it up and I saw how much this is going for. Just this alone is getting up there in a pretty penny. But happy I have it. I don't know why I'm getting so lucky and getting some of these Switch games ridiculously cheap. Moving up, we got Mario Tennis Aces. This is a more updated version of the cartridge, so definitely, it's like this one's 02 on cartridge, so it's got some fixes and added content. I actually played a little bit of it on the Switch. Really liked it. I really was enjoying playing it. Maybe I'm just like starved for these kinds of games, because we used to get these kinds of games like on PlayStation 4, like Hot Shot Golf and Hot Shot Tennis on PlayStation 2. So maybe I'm just starved for these kinds of games, but I haven't played it. I don't have the golf version of this. I know there's an updated physical copy for the golf version, so I've been really hunting for that. If you could guys let me know if there is a more updated version, and if it's like marked on the back about 01 and what numbers it is on the back in terms of finding one, can anybody be nice to hook me up? Because I would really like to try to play the golf game. The updated version of the golf version. So, in the end, happy to have it. Moving up, we got Ultimate Chicken Horse, a 9-verse edition. It's like a 2D kind of platformer style game where you work together to get to the end, but you got to screw each other over by trying to get your partner killed so you could be the one that gets across the finish line. It's really fun and really good. It's very cute. It's very funny and stuff like that. But you can screw your screw someone over. Like if you made it to the end, you can constantly block them off, and he could never win. So you can be kind of a jerk. So you definitely would have to make a house rule of you can't block the start. So, in the end, so keep that in mind. You can create your own levels, too, in this game. So, again, I'm really happy to have it. It's a multiplayer game, so if you pick this up, there's no single-player experience at all. This is a straight-up multiplayer game. But, happy to have it. Moving up, we got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is a more updated version. Now, this one I bought is 05. Sadly, this does not come with the level creator. I know there's like an update that includes a level creator. This does not have that. If anybody can let me know if they've came across one that's higher than 05, please let me know, because I would like to have the level creator. Sadly, I'm really hoping we'll get like a complete edition or something like that that will include all the characters. I doubt we'll ever get that because there's just so many licensing issues involving that. But again, I'm not the biggest in Super Smash Bros. It's a fighting game, so not really up my alley. And they got rid of the campaign mode in, what is it, the Wii one. Super Smash Bros. Not Melee. What was it called? Brawl? Is it Super Smash Bros. Brawl? Was that the Wii? The Wii one had like an actual campaign. It was like a 2D side-scrolling style game. I loved that. That was amazing. I played it multiple times. They took that away in this one and turned it into some boring fighting game style. I don't know. Very disappointed in the campaign, and so I haven't really played it. I've loved Super Smash Bros. Brawl campaign mode. Moving up, we have Octopath Traveler, the first one. I've yet to play it, so I have no opinion of it. I'm really disappointed that we have the first one here on the Switch and an Xbox, but it's not on PS4. But we have the second game on PS4. But I hate it when companies do that, where you can only have half the story on one console and the other half of the story on a different console, or the continuation of the series. So, man, I'm really glad to have it. Have yet to play it. Like the graphics and style of it. Now here's a game I've been wanting to play. The Battle Cats Unite. This was a Japan import. It's kind of like I believe somewhat like kind of like a tower defense style game. Don't quote me on that. It seems really interesting. I think this was a mobile game that just got really popular. And it comes with all because it has packaged version, limited edition characters and items. Like I said, I think this was a mobile game that got ported over to the Switch, but it's actually really popular. And currently, at the time of this video, this is sold out on PlayAsia, so I don't know what this is going for now. But I bought it when I could Looks really, really interesting. I like the wackiness, the cutesiness, the weirdness of it. Again, I love that stuff. It's just right up my alley, that weird. And it's more so when it's got strategy, tactics, and stuff like that, cards and stuff. Right up my alley. So glad I have it. Been wanting to play it. Definitely been wanting to play that. Maybe be the first game I play on my Super Nintendo Switch if it's backwards compatible. A recently pick up is Mario Crystal H. I won't lie, I didn't really pick this up for the game. I really picked this up because I had the other one. What was it called? The pirate. Man, I just covered the game. It was like a pirate ship. I talked about how the boobs can get bigger if you like do stuff. But this was like another game in that series. It's not a sequel, but I love the itchy, the risqueness, because I don't know if you can see this, because it kind of looks like he's holding his private parts. I don't know what that, like you would have to see what I'm talking about. But it's got like all the DLC and stuff like that on cartridge. It's like an older game. So, I have it. I did play a little bit of it. The audio was really weird in the game. So, maybe they didn't really do much with the audio from the looks of it, from porting it from like the handheld to the Switch. But, happy to have it. It's a weird game, right up my alley. Here's a good bad game. And not bad, but just disappointing. And that is Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun. Why I'm saying it's bad is it's a boomer shooter style game. Almost perfect. I mean, a Warhammer boomer shooter sounds perfect. Why it's bad or disappointing is that I played a little bit of it. It does not run really well on Switch. I don't know if that's because of the game or it's the Switch. I don't know. But boy, oh boy. Long load times. Gameplay is sluggish. I believe it stuttered quite a bit a few times. And there was other oddities and stuff like that. What little I've played of it. Because again, it's a boomer shooter. It's one of my most favorite genres. So I'm going to play it. And sadly, it is playable on PlayStation 4. I think PS5 and like Xbox. But they never released a physical copy for it. This is the only way you can get a physical copy right now at the time of this video is only the Switch version, which is now probably not the best version to play this game on. So highly, highly disappointing. I'm hoping we can see a new physical copy. It desperately needs it because this physical copy is not going to hold up. Maybe the Super Nintendo Switch, the next generation console Switch, can make the game run better because better hardware. But for now, I don't know. It's disappointing. But that's the last of this 40-plus stack of games. We got 2 more stacks to go through of my 160 Nintendo Switch games. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun. Again, I don't have a lot of Switch games. Like I said, most time when I buy a game, I usually try to buy it for PS5 or PS4. The only time I would really get it for the Switch is if it's only available on the Switch, or there's some reason that it's better to get the Switch version. Like, there's no difference, but the Switch version is more up to date, or may have more DLC and stuff like that on the cartridge. Or, as I said, it's only available on the Switch. So, hopefully you enjoyed this. I hope it was informative and fun. Again, we have a few more. Maybe we can jump to PS1, PS5, and maybe PS2. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!